welcome to the Gaia update for the new moon total solar eclipse on March 8th or 9th of 2016. I'm Adrienne Elise. This eclipse is such a powerful energy because so many planets are lining up. Eclipses happen when the moon, when it's new or full, comes across the nodes, the long of the nodes. We're talking a lot about the North Node because it's been conjunct Jupiter for the last couple months, and they're still close together, directly opposite the Sun and the Moon in Pisces, right there with Chiron on the South Node. So the South Node is our past karma, and the North Node is our future karma. And this is a very collective thing, just like Pisces. The whole energy of Pisces is the collective consciousness. And so this new moon solar eclipse is really a lot about collectively who we are, humanity, and how we need to change things. We're moving into this year with lots of mutable energy. The mutable signs are the changeable signs that happen during the change of seasons. And this is exactly where we're at. We're at a change of ages. And so we are in this massive adjustment period. And so the eclipses that come about every 6 months as the moon lines up with the nodes, that is an opportunity here for us to have an adjustment. And so this whole year is really, these last few years and the next couple of years are an adjustment period, but we're just kind of really moving into the meat of it with all these mutable energies. Now, Pisces is a mutable sign, and so we've got all these planets there in Pisces and with the South Node and then across from the North Node. Now, Chiron there in Pisces is really powerful. Chiron is the wounded healer, and where Chiron is in our chart represents our deepest wounds, and also the healing power that comes from healing those wounds. And so imagine collectively this reimagination of Chiron as it's in Pisces, speaking to the age of the past. Now, the Piscean age became a lot about domination and control because the collective consciousness energy was being manipulated and conditioned into conformity. And so we're coming out of this very painful time where humanity, we were a part of playing out things for each other that were very damaging and very painful. And so, and now our world is still, an outside reality of our world is still representing this, and so many levels of the authority energies and deception of like what's really going on, and us being conditioned and kept from the truth. And so this Pisces and Chiron right there with the Sun and the Moon in Pisces is just this huge opportunity for collective and individual healing around our woundedness of the past age, around this belief system that the Piscean age kind of fostered that has to do with some force outside of ourselves that has authority over us. Some force we need to pray to, ask, beg, sacrifice, and be good enough, be judged by. This is a completely false concept because we have access to source right there in our own body. And so there is no authority outside of ourselves that says whether or not we can access this energy. And we literally have the energy in our bodies if we knew how to use it to power our home. And this has all been kept from us very systematically and methodically throughout the Piscean age. And here we are in the shift and change. And the reality of the situation is a world and our outer reality that's very much out of alignment with the truth of who we are. And so that's what a lot of people are feeling individually in their life, being like waking up to where the Pisces energy is the dreams and illusions. It's our collective dreams, our collective consciousness. It's our dreams, illusions, but it's also delusions. And so it's kind of like this energy of like, wait, who am I and what do I really want? And I thought I wanted that, but that doesn't really fit me anymore. And so a huge energy in our individual lives of waking up to the fact that our life isn't reflecting the truth of who we really are, and how powerful that is as we as individuals take the steps, the intention to connect ourselves back to source energy, to get our lives into alignment with the truth of who we really are as spiritual beings in a human body. And so that's happening so fast right now, and yet it's coming up against this past age of conformity, and the structures, the physical structures in our world that want to stay in the same level of control and manipulation over humanity, except for that humanity is ready to set itself free. And so the individual opportunity right now can have such a huge effect on the collective, and that might feel why it's so hard to make changes sometimes. It's like, well, I know this job isn't really right for me. I'm not really using my full potential, but it's my financial security, and I'm used to it, and it's comfortable, but it's getting less and less comfortable. And that is the energy coming out of this Pluto-Uranus square of the last 3-4 years of influence. And now we're starting to see where these structures are breaking down. We're going to start seeing on the outside the effect of our internal changes that have been happening, both collectively and individually. And so with Chiron there in Pisces, and the Sun and the Moon, and Mercury just moving into Pisces, wanting to find out the information, wanting to understand, and looking at this wound of the past. So Pisces, or Chiron, represents this core wound and the power that's behind the core wound. But behind all core wounds from each of us, maybe we have our own individual expression where it falls in our chart, but behind all of it is the illusion of separation from source. And so the activation this month is on the eclipse. If you'd like to join, it's going to be, I'll have the information below, but it's going to be a lot about connecting with our own source energy, getting our life to line up with that, because the way these eclipses have been lining up in the last few years, they're this huge opportunity to kind of just jump onto a more appropriate timeline and just kind of step into that life that you've been dreaming of that is more appropriate. You might not even really know what it looks like, but there's just a huge, huge opportunity for us. And as we individually take that plunge into trusting again, trusting the universe, letting the universe come and support us in our lives. So that's going to be a big part of the activation available, is to align with that source energy within us and then step on that most appropriate timeline. Just move into that next dimensional frequency effortlessly and easily. Now this next 6 months period of time till the following eclipses are going to be that adjustment period. These eclipse cycles are almost like the contractions that are coming. Now that's a really appropriate metaphor, because we have all this energy of Virgo. So we have all these planets in Pisces, but they're directly opposite Jupiter and the North Node in Virgo there, and a North Node being our future karma. Jupiter is our expansion and our resources. And Virgo is about discrimination and cleaning it up. It is the Virgin. It's about cleaning away all of the things that aren't useful in our life. And so it's a really great time to clean house. It's a really great time to choose a life of simplicity, getting rid of all of the distractions that keep you from connecting with that source, that I am my own source energy. And so this is a huge energy for this year, is the simplification. And our expansion has to do with discrimination and simplification and cleaning up. So what are we doing? We're cleaning up these belief systems, these wounds of the past, in order to shoot off into this new future. And this Pisces new moon is just kind of bringing this all acutely to the surface. And so what this means individually, again, is this discontent feeling of just like, whoa, my illusion is breaking down. My life is not serving the truth of me as a spiritual being, and I can't handle it anymore. I need change. So this is how it's affecting. But at the same time, there's this huge opportunity to just tap into this flow, the whole collective consciousness making a decision that we're going to step out of that belief system of conformity and a false god that we need to pray to. All of the wounds come from this one belief system. And so we're having this huge amount of tension. Now, what makes this really tense on this eclipse is that both of these, Jupiter in the North Node in Virgo and Chiron and the Sun and the Moon, they're in Pisces, are squaring the galactic center. At 18 degrees, Sagittarius is where that is right now. This is the center of our galaxy. It's this huge magnetic pull, gravitational pull, that everything that we know, all star systems we can find, are going towards this space. There's a huge energy here. Now, what this means for this eclipse, because of the square, is tension. It's at 90 degrees. It's the shift. And the galactic center, when things are aspected to that, it brings a century of a feeling of immediacy and urgency. And so this is this kind of strange feeling that's coming up of like deep in our subconscious is where these changes are happening. That's the beautiful energy of Pisces, is that using this beautiful energy of Pisces to throw away the stories of conformity and come back to our own source of God within. We are a part of God. Now, science is proving this, and our religious ideas need to catch up with our scientific, what's been proven by quantum physics. We are a part of everything, and everything is within us. And so therefore, what are we doing praying to an outside source? What are we doing letting corporations rape and kill our planet while we just sit back and try to survive? This is a huge, huge lie that we've been living. And the lie can't go away until we acknowledge the truth underneath it. And the truth underneath it is that we are our own source, and we are our own. Now, when you can tap into this energy in your life, it's a huge shift of being like, so what Chiron really represents is this energy of the battle and the struggle. And so Chiron is being redefined this year. And the wounds of the past have a lot to do with just being stuck in that loop of victim. And the world is working against me, and I'm not good enough, and I have something to prove, and why won't the good things happen to me, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And we can go over and over these concepts again and again and again and try to nurse our ego into feeling better about this situation, but our most appropriate course at this time is to get to the base of that core wound, that illusion of separation, and let go of that whole construct of the struggle, of the battle, of the enemy. And so we have this opportunity to, as a collective, come together on this eclipse to pray and meditate and heal this core wound, feel ourselves together as one in that Pisces, powerful Pisces energy, and make the choice that this is this ego-based materialistic reality is a lie. And the minute that we choose to, instead of arguing against and fighting against all the forces that are holding this in place, choosing to identify with our source potential, and letting the battle leave our life, and letting the universe come in and support us and feel like, oh, consciousness itself is this power can help us live our lives. We don't have to go and have this illusion of outward approval and support by this false God structure. It's been something that's entirely created, just like our financial system, just like our energy system. And so we are having these massive adjustments that need to happen as the truth becomes to come forward. This next 6 months is going to be really crucial for disclosure. And that brings me to this little asteroid Ceres, which is very close here with the Sun and the Moon and Chiron. And Ceres kind of brings a light of another energy into this. Ceres is saying that Ceres is the asteroid representing agriculture, nurturing, protection. This is a lot of the energy of what's good for the collective whole of humanity, which is the Aquarian age, kind of moving out of these power structures of regime and control and moving into, hey, let's make it work for everyone. And Ceres is really about that. And so it's interesting because we have the Virgin Mother rebirth energy happening in Virgo, and then we've got Ceres, the nurturer, and this really shows us the discrepancy, because it's like Ceres wants it to be nurturing and protective and loving and the food source and the abundance, but our food source that's supposed to be nurturing, protecting, and holding us in our experience on the planet has been manipulated into poison. They're trying to kill us with this manipulation of the food system. And so this is really out of alignment with the truth of who we are, humanity. And Ceres is bringing this to light, and Ceres is saying, hey, let's nurture ourselves into this new age, into this rebirth, but it's going to take kind of coming into the reality, of busting down these illusions of this past age, and that this is not nurturing. This is not a true expression of us as humans, as part of this cosmic source of love, energy. The fact that our food is killing us is just really not in alignment. So all of this is just one example of things coming forward, but Ceres is really powerful energy, kind of being like, hey, reality check, you guys. We're worried about this and that, and we're all concerned about where everybody has their concerns about what's going on in the world. But the basic energy right now is that the truth of how we are is not reflecting the truth of who we are and what we are. And of course, that's again collectively and individually, and it's the big energy of this next 6 months as we move into the Saturn square Neptune, and we're moving into months block of time of mutable squares happening between Saturn in Sagittarius, Jupiter in Virgo, and Chiron in Pisces, and Neptune as well. And so we're just, this mutable energy is about adjusting, and so we kind of go along for a while, and it's like, wait a minute, this isn't working, this isn't right, we got to adjust. And so the mutable energy is really serving us right now, but it also can feel like, wait, one day I feel one way, one day I feel the next way, what do I really feel, what's going on? That's our opportunity to say, hey, you know what, we don't know what's going on, but we know what's not right. And we know what right feels like. And so Ceres is bringing in this energy of what right feels like. And the Virgo, the Virgin, wants to birth us into this feeling of not carrying around in our subconscious. If we're all one, we're carrying around all these lies and deceit of the whole collective that's been told to us. And it's like we're trying to clean up the collective consciousness, but how can we clean it up if we don't even know the extent on any level of the amount of lies and deception that we've been fed in order to keep us in the control as a food source for the parasite of this materialistic mind. And this materialistic mind works in our brain and keeps us from being able to connect with this source energy, to know that we're held and loved by this universe, by this collective consciousness of the one, the source that is animating and moving in all of us. And Ceres reminds us of this, and it reminds us of the discrepancy, but it also brings a nurturing energy into this rebirth. So the Virgo energy is really this huge opportunity. This Virgo Pisces axis is the collective consciousness is having an opportunity for a rebirth. Now, there's a great association with the sign of the Virgin, Virgo, and the apocalypse and the book of Revelations. But the apocalypse, what that really means, the word, if you break it down, means removal of the veil. And so indeed, it's just like we're coming into the truth of who we are as spiritual beings, and we can't quite do that if we don't find out, come to light all the lies and illusions and delusions. And so that's kind of what's going on in our individual lives, and how that's like all held into place by this core wound of separation that we need to somehow, these core wounds a lot have to do with our insecurities and not feeling good enough, low self-worth, and that all has to do with this belief system that we have to get our power from each other. And so we have to have people like us and validate our ego in order to survive in this world. It's a big lie. We need to validate ourselves as source. We need to validate ourselves as spirit. And then everything falls into place. And so you can see how it's just like a big pileup of a big mess of the past. But the future is actually clean and clear. As much as there's going to be continual adjustments, the core essence of this rebirth, that the Virgin energy, this North Node and Jupiter together in the Virgin this year, is bringing to us. It's bringing this opportunity for the virgin birth. The virgin birth is letting go of the stories of the past. Rudolf Steiner talked about a virgin birth meaning an incarnation where you remembered who you really were, where you remembered that source energy, and you weren't bringing with you the ancestral stories or the past life stories into your next incarnation as a bodhisattva. We're having this opportunity to turn in bodhisattvas in a body in this life with our full consciousness And that is an amazing opportunity. And so remember that with all that you're going through, is that Earth is quite been very out of balance with the negative and positive energies, and that allows it to be quite a destination in the galaxy for highly accelerated growth. And so the fact that you're here on the Earth, you chose this at this time, and you find yourself complaining about how difficult life is or what's going on, things not working out, remember that this is, you are here to grow, to leave that shit behind. And when you do, you feel this lightening of the load and consciousness being able to help you and hold you, and you can feel supported in a way that you could never feel supported by the actual physical world constructs of this world. And so we've been taught that money and material resources are what makes us feel secure, but it really comes down to it. That doesn't have anything about, it's not going to help us in the other dimensional realities. And so it's kind of like when you have been clinging for lifetimes to this idea of this security of, like, if I believe in God and He's going to take care of me, and then all that falls away, there's no structure underneath your feet. This is the Pluto-Uranus square. So we're moving out of that Pluto-Uranus square. They're still close, but this is the last month that they're close like this. And so the ground has been removed, and now we have to do the mop up. We have to do discrimination. We've done the burning down, the calcination, and now we're doing the separation, taking out the parts in the transformational process. And that's a big energy of the eclipses, is this opportunity for transformation, and that kind of speaks to that opportunity to step on that most appropriate timeline to really get the universe support for who you are and what you really want to do in this lifetime and why you're here. And instead of this constant struggle and this constant battle against this enemy that's been created in order for our power to be used against us. So this is the construct of these religious authoritarian energies on the planet, and structural authoritarian energies, and the power company, whatever. It's like, okay, we're going to use your power and not let you know you have your power, and then we're going to charge you for it. So it's like, not only are we going to suck you dry like a parasite, we're going to tax you on top of that. And this is just so out of alignment. And so this year of 2016 is adjusting, because there's just too many people on the planet coming into the truth of who they really are. And so I hope you're having a wonderful journey in that. It's up and down, but know that source energy, that connection, and sometimes we can only feel it for a glimpse, but we need to remember that it's something nobody can take from us, something that's always there, and it's just been hidden from us behind the veil. And it's time for the apocalypse. It's time for the veil to be revealed, and for us to take back our power. And this Pisces new moon total solar eclipse, it's also a super moon, meaning that the moon is closest to the earth, at its point where it's closest to the earth. So there's a lot of powerful energy. Really use this opportunity to be as present as you can with this what wants to happen in your life, so that you can make that adjustment, jump onto that timeline. And I hope that you can join me for the powerful new moon solar eclipse activation, and that will be happening on March 8th, 2016, and the information will be found below. So thank you so much for joining me on this journey, and I wish you the best. Namaste.